You're watching Guitar TV. Thank you for tuning in. We're here with Janet Robin, and she's going to perform a very live, very intimate concert right now for you. So stay tuned.
Tell me when. All right. Welcome to Guitar TV, ladies and gentlemen. We like the live audience here. We need those little audience lights, right? Clap now! Andy, thank you for having me, Andy and Steve. And we're going to do some songs for you, and we're going to talk a little bit about guitar, I guess, right? So let's start off with an instrumental. Thank you very much. Let's play some songs. All right. So we're going to be playing. Well, we only have a few songs to play, so I kind of mixed it up. This song's from my new CD. Everything has changed, and it's called "Clean Getaway." Can hear all right? Yeah. How about you out in the internet land? I'd like to give a shout out to my folks in Europe. Hey, how's it going? It's like 2 a.m. I think some people are watching out there. Happy to have you join us. Technology, it's just crazy, isn't it? All right, you ready, folks?
To set you free, leave no bridges burning. I know you're trying, but there's nothing you can say to keep me from crying. No such thing as a clean getaway. Cooking up on the deep of a plan to break the chains and keep yourself from ground. When it's one escape, but getting me to understand. Now that's really will have been astounded. I know I'm trying, but there's nothing you can say to keep me from crying. No such thing as a clean girl. You're so bent on sadness, you can't see you're such a mess. Ooh, such a mess. But there's nothing you can say to keep me from crying. No such thing as a clean There's nothing you can say to keep me from crying. No such thing as a clean girl. No such thing as a clean getaway. No such thing as a clean getaway. Thank you. Thank you. Cool. Oh, it's so quiet. Okay. Sounding good, okay? Yeah. All right, so what's that little buzzing we got? What just happened? Thank you. Can you put that at 15? Thank you. Is it in the monitor still? Thank you. Okay, first webcast. We're getting it together here. Everybody's having a good time, yeah? We're coming live from Bedrock Studios in Echo Park, California. Okay, this is a song off an acoustic album I did a few years ago. And this year I'm playing, I know it's GuitarTV, but I'm just going to say this is a combination of a guitar and a banjo. So does it fit, Andy? Is it okay?
Absolutely.
Okay. What we call it here is a banjitar. If a banjo and a guitar got together and had a very good relationship, this is what would come out as their baby. So I think it qualifies to be okay for GuitarTV. Okay, get some water and we'll do a little hoedown. direction fast as a hurricane or a politician, then I'd wonder why nothing lasts all along way round. There could be something to it if we're willing to wait through. Could be a big blue sky and all this gray, but after we begin it, can't put a stop to it. So we've got to know that we won't wash away in the flood. I was afraid the first world war, it taught me not to tiptoe through the fields of memories I thought were gone, but clearly they've been hanging on. Gonna break it down. There could be something to it if we're willing to wait through. Could be a big blue sky and all this gray, but after we begin, can't put a stop to it. So we've got to know that we won't wash away in the flood. It's gonna get mighty hard. Before it's sunny, there could be something to it if we're willing to wait through. Could be a big blue sky and all this gray, but after we begin, can't put a stop to it. So we've got to know that we won't wash away in the flood.
Bye.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so come on. Yeah, you got some questions?
Indeed we do. And we have questions from all over the world.
Oh, do you?
So it's not just my curiosity.
So do they send them in, the questions?
Yeah, there's a live Facebook chat integrated into GuitarTV.
They send in questions?
Yeah, right now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. What are the questions? Uh-oh. How old are you? 15.
22.
Here's the 20-second question.
All right.
Well, my own questions first, and then theirs.
Sure.
That was a fascinating instrument. You gave us a brief background of it.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit more about
The
it?
banjo-tar.
Yeah. What does it feel like? What is it like to play something that's not quite a Stratocaster or a Les Paul?
Well, I was really drawn to it because I wanted some. I'm always interested in unique sounding 6-string instruments or 12-string instruments. Actually, any stringed instruments. And that was given to me as a gift for my birthday. I won't say the year. But it's made by Gold Tone. I think they make a great banjo-tar, and actually the 6-string banjo has been around for a while, I think ever since banjo started. And
Someone broke a string one time and they're
exactly.
like, forget it.
No,
5.
My music, as you can see, is a mixture of a lot of different influences, and that last song I wouldn't say is totally country. It just has a little feel of that, but it's kind of psychedelic country or something like that. And I don't really play banjo, so I thought the closest I could get to getting banjo would be the banjo-tar, and then I ran it through my wah-wah at the end of the song just to do something different.
Yeah, sounded great.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you.
And the first instrument you were playing, tell us
Yes.
about that.
We have that. Yeah, we have it over there.
Can I hold it while you talk about it? If you trust me to hold it.
Yes, the Turner.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, this is called Turner Deuce, made by Turner Renaissance. You got it? Okay, you hold it. It's made by the great luthier Rick Turner, who I met when I was working with Lindsey Buckingham, and we stayed in contact ever since. And we were talking about, he came to me and he said, I've been making all these guitars, let's make something different. And he said, what do you have in mind? And I said, why don't we combine, an electric with an acoustic? Of course, there's been hybrids made before, but we did something a little different this time. We actually put in 2 inputs, one for the acoustic piezo pickup and one for the Seymour Duncan, hi Seymour, electric pickup, which you see right here. And instead of electric strings, we put on the phosphor bronze to give it the acoustic sound, but when you plug it in through both amps and you run the acoustic amp with the electric sound, you get some balls. Can I say that word on GuitarTV? You get some balls, and you get the sheen of the acoustic. The instrumental I didn't use it on my electric amp, but I can demonstrate later if you wish. And we've got 2 separate controls for each pickup, so you can blend the 2 pickups, or you can just have electric or just acoustic. And so I came up with the design. He built it, and we called it the Deuce. So thank you, Rick. It's beautiful. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Yeah. Okay, what is this next song you're going to play?
This next song is also on my new CD. It's kind of a rocker. It's called View from Above, and we've got the tally out for this. And I had played my Taylor earlier, also one of my favorite guitars. Also, I'd like to mention Daisy Rock here. Very big supporter of my music, and they're big supporters of female musicians and girls who want to start playing guitar. So there's my plug. Yeah, we're gonna rock out a little bit at the end here, and I don't know, any other questions? Did anybody have questions from the internet? Or
Sure. Well, I think people
we'd do it at the end.
Yeah, sure. We can come back and talk at the end.
Okay, sure.
Can't give it to me yet.
All right, let's rock out.
Just getting ready.
take a good look at me. But that's just fine, cause I'm where I wanna be. You wanna see me rise and you wanna see me fall. Well, I'll tell you right now, you can handle it all. This feeling for the world is not yours at all. Is when I count on your love. I'm sure not to up in the sky. I dance like the devil on fire inside. You wanna see me cry and you wanna see me crash. It's you that baby, cause I won't realize this feeling for the world. It's not yours at all. Cause when I count on your love, I am sure don't waste your time, but move on right up. Don't let them beat you. Don't let them beat you. Don't let them beat you down. So you might just catch me down on my knees. I pray for the sunshine over the sea. I don't have a penny, but I feel the heat. And that's what you get when you're living it free. I tried to throw everything in there cheesy as possible.
That was perfect.
Good.
That was the very first, this is the very first live broadcast on GuitarTV performance.
Yeah.
So honored to have you.
Thank you. I'm honored to be the first webcast. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Holy cow. So what's going on here? You've got a Telecaster going into...
I got a 52 reissue.
Okay.
It's going into my Blues Deluxe.
Okay.
Also Fender. I do own a 78 Les Paul, but that stays at home.
Uh-huh. Holy cow. Well, we have a few questions if you don't mind.
Sure, absolutely.
I'll start off with one of my own.
Yes.
Tell us about your former teacher, Randy Rhodes.
Randy, which I used my 78 Les Paul for most of my lessons with Randy. That's why it stays home. Well, let's see. I started with Randy when I was about 10 years old. That was just about 5 years ago. My brother, actually, who's here, you were texting during my song. What's that about? Huh? Yeah, right. My brother was taking guitar from Randy. We got referred to him by another music store, and I was taking classical and acoustic, and I really wanted to take electric like my brother, and he's now a dentist. Anyway, that's a whole other story.
So he still shreds.
He still shreds with a drill. Yeah, so I started taking with Randy, and my first guitar was a white Strat. Yeah, we're talking 1977, 78. So you can figure out my age if you like. I don't mind. Randy taught at Musonia, still in business, ran by his brother Kelly Rhodes, who I'm still in touch with the family. I believe Mrs. Rhodes is still alive as well. And yeah, what can I say about the lessons? They were $8 for a half hour, and he was so amazing that I used to bring friends to the lesson to just watch him play. You know, I knew he was special. It was back when he was in Quiet Riot before, of course, he got the Ozzy gig, and I believe I was the only female and the youngest student at the time.
That's fantastic. Wow.
Yep. He was very encouraging. He had there was no problem about being a girl or being young. It was all about playing guitar and playing it with feeling and being unique. Obviously, my style isn't exactly like Randy. I mean, he did all those things, and I still do that. I still those pull-offs. He wasn't much into the tapping because Van Halen was doing that, so he wanted to do pull-offs. And he actually had a background in blues, so I did a lot of blues stuff from him. Learned all my blues from him.
When you started playing with Ozzy, did you go to the concerts?
I didn't. I was 15, I think, when he got the gig with Ozzy. And did you go, Steve?
I don't remember that.
It was at Long Beach. It was at Long Beach Arena.
Was there, yeah.
I think you went, yeah. But I was too young. My mom wouldn't let me go. However, I did go to the Starwood nightclub, which is no longer around in Los Angeles, with my parents to see Randy in Quiet Riot. And I was 10, 11 years old then. And I looked up at him and was like, oh my gosh, I want to do that. And I'm still doing that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was terrible when that happened. When he passed away, it was just, I was completely devastated. Yeah. And I still think about it now that I wish he was around. I think there might be a couple of other students of his who are still playing music, but I think I might be the only one who's doing it professionally. You might get some comments about that, but somebody told me that. So I think the other students went on to do other stuff. And for that, I wish he was around because, you know, he could just see what he taught me and how much he inspired me.
Amazing. Well, on a gear-related format.
This is so interesting for you guys.
There were like 6 questions. They all want to know what wah-wah pedal you use.
That's an interesting story. Yeah. To be honest with you, it's the cheapy Vox. It's the cheaper version of the Vox. And the reason being is, number one, it's very light for traveling. I used to play the Dunlop one, and I inadvertently left it at a gig in Prague, and it just disappeared very quickly. And we were on our way to Germany, and we had to get a quick wah-wah. We stopped at a store somewhere in the middle of Germany, and that was the only one they had, and I've kept it ever since. But it's pretty cool. It sounds good. It's all in the foot, folks.
I'm sure you get asked this question a lot, but this was a unique angle. Someone asked, being a female musician in a male-dominated field, you know, what that...
We need a few hours for that.
Right. Well, you can have as much time as you want, because whatever you want. But it came from someone who I know is very passionate about making sure that women are represented, especially in the guitar world. So, what is it about walking out into a crowd, maybe they're not quite there to see you, and do you feel like any need to overcome any kind of situation?
You know, I've always just played for myself. I mean, of course, I'm here to entertain the audience, but it's makes me feel good to play. It's like therapy. I never really think about being a girl until I think later, you know, it's become this category, female guitar player, which in some ways is very interesting because, you know, you never say, he's a male guitar player. do you? Well, Eric Clapton, he's a male guitar player. You know, you don't really say that. But then on the other hand, in order to bring some, you know, notoriety to women guitar players, you know, who have, you know, worked hard on their instrument, there's been now this category dedicated to called female guitarists. When I was growing up, there was only a few. You know, there was Nancy Wilson from Heart. There was the Runaways and Bonnie Raitt, Joni Mitchell. You know, and I never thought of them as women guitar players. I just liked the way they play, as I liked Jimmy Page, Jimi Hendrix, Randy, of course, and all that. But I started so young, you know, playing, and I had neighborhood bands. They were with boys, all boys, and there was never a problem until I started sounding better than them, and they would kick me out of the band. So that became, I got really insecure because I thought I wasn't good, and they were kicking me out because I wasn't good. But I guess it was I'm not saying I'm great, I'm just saying
it was the opposite.
It was the opposite. So I had some trouble staying in the band, these young boys. My first gig was playing in front of John Travolta with this all-male band. We were called Rocks. I'm friends with all the guys now. Hey, guys, we're all good friends. But I know I was 12. That was my very first live show with my Les Paul and our band in front of John Travolta, who paid us $100. I might add. About what I'm making now. I'm kidding.
We here at GuitarTV.
Guitar Comedy TV.
We're a startup.
No, and then, you know, in high school I had this opportunity to join an all-female band, and I thought, well, there's an idea. Maybe that whole thing might disappear because we'll be all girls. But then there are other problems being an all-girl band. There's, you know, it was pretty good for the most part. We were together 6-7 years, Precious Metal, of course, and I did that for a while. And now, you know, of course, my band is mixed, and I think it's so different now, being a female musician. There's so many younger players and girls. I teach as well, and I have a lot of young girl students as well as boys as well. It's just different now. You see bands now, they're mixed, you know, boys and girls, and there's a lot of girls playing drums and bass, of course. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, we could go on. There's so many stories.
Right. Well, one of those stories maybe led to one other question. With Precious Metal, you had been signed. And was it to one record label or multiple record labels?
We had 2 deals, one on Polygram, which isn't around anymore, and the other one was on Chameleon, which was part of Capitol, so it was Capitol Records.
How was that experience? You know, was it really your first time being in a signed act?
It was. I was 18 when we got our first record deal, and I was going to UCLA at the time, which I promptly dropped out after 6 months. I'm not encouraging you to do that. I'm just saying.
John Travolta said.
Yeah, exactly. No, it was just my calling, and we were going on the road, and it was really quite an experience. We opened for Extreme. Remember that band? We did a lot of different opening. I can't remember them all, but we had a tour bus, and we did that whole thing. It was really my whole foray into that rock and roll lifestyle, playing late at night, parties, and staying up and crazy stuff, of which I didn't partake too much of, because if I had, I wouldn't be here still playing. Yeah, but it was great. And at the time, there was only a few girl bands. There was Vixen, there was the Bangles, who had become very big, and I'm friends with Vicki Peterson. She's awesome. And the girls from the Go-Go's, they were around. And we knew some of the girls in that band as well, but they were doing different kind of music. There wasn't like any hard rock, all-female bands that had been signed besides, I think, us and Vixen. There was Girl School. They were in the UK. Yeah.
Do you know that Steve's wife, Pia, was in Vixen as the bass player?
Yes, I heard that.
Okay.
Yeah. And we actually, did we play a gig with them? I think we were in town at the same time, and it was like sort of a rival thing.
Yeah.
We were trying to be nice, and they were trying to be nice, but we never really came too close to hanging out with each other. Yeah. They were good, though.
You showed me pictures, you had pink hair. It was really cool.
Yeah. They were great. They were a great band. Yeah.
Well, I suppose we've asked some of the questions here. I mean, there are people tuning in from all over the place. Someone said there are a few great all-female bands in Detroit.
Phantom Blue. Yes, that's another one. Sorry, I missed Phantom Blue.
Mm-hmm.
The Runaways, of course, back in the 70s.
And we're finding that GuitarTV has male and female bass. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think it should just be for people who enjoy guitar.
Guitar players.
Yeah, guitar players, 6-string players, whatever.
Yeah.
It's great that you're doing this. This is the first of its ever kind.
I think so.
Yeah. It's fantastic.
And I'll put this laptop away because then I have a personal question.
Uh-oh.
And I think I'm going to
Is
ask.
this a size 36? B? No, just kidding.
That's good. So, for me, before I developed a friendship and began working with Steve Vai, I used to think to myself, maybe sitting at my desk or with a guitar in my hand, in my lap, gosh, I'd hear a Steve Vai song and think, where was he in his life when he came up with this? What time of the day was it? What influenced this performance on this record or this live performance? And I guess I'm wondering, is there something that just hits you and it feels like an overwhelming feeling? Maybe you're sleeping or maybe you're in the shower and you're like, I gotta drop what I'm doing because I just had this idea.
It is very much like that, and the only thing I can relate it to is like when you're really thirsty and you have to have some water, or if you happen to be addicted to something else like caffeine or something like that, you have this feeling that comes up and you're like, oh, I feel like, I gotta play right now. I gotta play, which is often for me. And then you might, for me, the way I do it is I start playing around with some riff, and then, it turns into a song, and I start thinking about different things. There's always something to write about. Usually it's personal, or it's my friends' personal lives. And or it's a personal experience, since I travel and tour so much in the U.S. and in Europe, and there's so many things I'm inspired by. And but yeah, it is like that that feeling of sort of, I have to have some water right now, or you have to do it. Yeah, it's an urge. I guess that's the best. Sounds like I have to go to the bathroom or something. But you know what I'm saying.
Is there a particular guitar that you reach for every time?
It is my Taylor, because I don't have to plug it in. I mean, I love all my guitars. I don't have children, so my guitars are like my children. And but that one, I don't have to plug in or anything. It's always sitting around, and I just pick it up. And I experiment also with a lot of different tunings. The instrumental I did on the Turner was in a drop D, nothing fancy, but I like to experiment with capo positions, tunings, a glass of wine. It's all good. That's my main inspiration. No. I'm kidding.
Well, within the GuitarTV player, you will be able to purchase Janet's latest release. And when this broadcast is over, we'll go back and add all the equipment that you just told me so people can check out the various different things, Daisy Rock and
the Fender, the Turner, the Taylor, and the banjo.
Cheapy Vox.
The Cheapy Vox.
The Cheapy Vox.
I think it was like $50.
That's a good deal.
I don't really have anything else.
Janet. Round of applause for our very first.
Very much.